We had earlier a psak from Rabbi Yochanan and a psak from Rabbi Yanai. There were two cases. There was a case that if you take a branch with fruit on it and you graft it onto an older tree, we say the fruit itself, regardless of how much it grows, it remains orlo. We had a case, we had, you planted an onion next to a vineyard, even if the vineyard was removed, and it grows, we have 200 to 1, the onion remains osir. So the Gemara wanted to say, see if you go ikro, you say, since it grows from the iser, it becomes osir. We just resolved the shaila before from a brisa, that if you have a case of shvius, where you plant something during shvius, then it remains after shvius. If it becomes larger, what's the halacha? The gedulim, they subsume the shvius. So the Gemara asks the question, how do you reconcile? Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yanai, they rule that you go after the ikar, meaning the iser. And here we see clearly, we're quoting, there's a brisa, you see you don't go after the ikar. You see that the gedulim are mavatal the ikar. They subsume the ikar. That was the question of the Gemara. So Gemara made a differentiation between shvius and iser. What's shvius? It's because of it depends on the land, right? The land has to remain fallow. So since they're both on par, so therefore the shvius in the eighth year subsumes what grew during the 6th year, right? However, when Arla has nothing to do with the land, it's the yield of the 3rd year. Kloya kerem is because you planted the onion next to the vineyard, has nothing to do with the land. Therefore, in that situation, you go baser ikro, whatever where it began growing from, the outgrowth, it identifies with what? That's what the Gemara said. That's where we ended off. So Gemara asked the question, Vatanya. So Gemara says, Ahari Meiser Yisrael de Karka. Meiser is Al Yidei Karka. We had the case earlier, which we can quote. Now, when you have to tithe, what do you have to tithe? Some because it's produce of Eretz Yisrael. It's unrelated. Before Arla, we understand. Arla is the 3rd yield, first of 3 yields. Kloya Kerem, because it's planted next to a vineyard. But Meiser, it's because that's the land. Baby Teloso, Al Yidei Karka, and you see it's not subsumed. What's the case? The Tanya, Litra Meiser Tevil, Shazora Bekarka, Vishbicho. You had a Litra Meiser Tevil, meaning the Levi was given Meiser. He did not take off what? Trumas Meiser. So he planted Tevel, and now it grows. Now how much Meiser does he have to take off? So it says he has to take off only for the Trumas Meiser, not for the Meiser. But if you're telling me if it's dependent on the land, it subsumes the original. So if that's the case, the Meiser, you should have to take Meiser from everything. So what do you only have to take Meiser from the additional growth? That's the Tanya. Liter Meiser Tevil. It was Meiser Tevil. It was Meiser that only thing that was lacking, they didn't take Trumas Meiser. So Zor Bekark Vishbicha, Harei Ke'eseli Torrent, Chayevis B'Meiser, B'Shvius. Vos Liter Meiser Lem Mokom Acher. And you have to take it, you can't take it from itself because it's a combination of both, because there's heter in it, and not Lefi Cheshbon. What do we see? Bittel. Amri, Meiser Digunu, the Kogorim lay. Said, more answers no. Mice is not only dependent, of course, it has to be a produce of Eretz Yisrael, but what causes the chiyuv, the obligation? It's the processing. It's not by shvius. What is perish shvius? It's the produce of shvius. It just grew. What's the produce of another year? Grew during another year. There, everything's on par. There's no intermingling. Therefore, one subsumes the other. But over here, it's something else. Mosav Rabbi Bar Chama. That's what we're holding. Nun Tesam and Aleph. Mosiv Rami Bar Chama. Konim Perus Eilu Alai. This is the Mishnah we had earlier. Konim Hein Alpi. Konim Hein Lifi. Also Bichlofenim Gudaleim. He's not permitted if they were exchanged or if it grows, whatever grows from them. You're not permitted. If he says Sheini Ochel Sheini Toeng, I will not eat, I will not taste. Mutter Bichlofenim Gudaleim. Right? We explained earlier because one's equivalent of Hegdish and the other was just he's limiting it to what? I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to taste of it. But it says B'davish Zaro Kolo. When are you permitted to have the Gedulim? Only if what you plant, it's not a bulb, it disintegrates and then it grows. Avol Davish Zaro Kolo. But something where the zera, what you plant, doesn't decompose in the ground, I feel gedule nasurin. Even the outgrowth of the outgrowth is usher. So what do you see here clearly? So you see here clearly that what? That the gidul does not subsume the what? The original, the source. And we brought a proof from before that it does. Okay? Let's take a look in the Ran. Who's this akasha on? This question is a question on Rabbi Yanai. Rabbi Yanai had ruled earlier that porach d'amaliel botzo shel truma shroba gedul avikro mutter. Right, that's the Gemara started off there. Remember, the Gemara says, you mean you abandon two for the sake of one? Rabbi Yanai said it's permitted. The alma svirle the kuli gedul api shein isur na al yedei karka malin seikar shemochi porach le mikonomos dein malin. Okay, that's the question. That's the question of Rabbi Yanai. Rabbi Yanai originally said, if you plant truma, what's the halacha? The gedulin subsume the truma. Here you see clearly. We say if it's davashein kola, before we speak out an onion of truma you plant, if the gedulim are greater than the onion assumes the status of the gedulim. It's not gedulin kola. The onion, it's a bulb. It remains that. It just gets larger. Right? And yet it says, he said, mutter, hit him. We have a mission that says, osir. So he says, Vodlo Parachlim Brisa. Wanted the Gemara refute Rabbi Yanai from the Brisa, Litra Meiser, Tevel, Tain Leo Besomoch, Mishon Masnisen, Alim Alay Lakshui. If you have a question, if you want to refute something from a Mishnah or Brisa, it's a better refutation from a Mishnah and a Brisa. There's a Mishnah we're asking from. The Ode, the Meiser Pshita Le Dovshesh Matirin, as the Gemara said, there's Dovshesh Matirin. Right? Because since you have to take Trumas Meiser, it's Dovshesh Matirin. So how do we reconcile it? Omer Ababa Shiny Konomos. He says, what's the reason? You know why? He says, Koname. Dov Shein Kolo. Now, a netter, you could annul. That means it's not permanent. If it's meant to be undone, that's Dov Shein Matirin. So therefore you can't talk about bittul. Right? Omer Ababa Shiny Konomos hold the boy Michololayo Havadu Kedov Shein Matirin. Made bottle Barov. Right? Somebody asked a question, I truma? Well, what does Rabbi Yanai rule? Rabbi Yanai rule, if you have a bulb of truma, you plant it, the gedulim, 100. The gedulim subsume the bulb, the onion. I by truma, the boy mitchell alei, ubatli, barov. If a person wants to be, person designates truma, then he wants to be shown on it, the halacha is he can. So, retroactively, it's as if the truma was never truma, and yet it says truma is botel, ubatel barov, ditnan, listen to the story. So truma tameo. You have a large measure of truma tameo. Shnoflu lepochsmi meyachulin. Okay, it falls into less than 100 to 1. What's the aloha? Tirokev. You let it rot. Mm-hmm. The question is, I mean, the Ran speaks. Why don't we use it all? Just give it for what's his name? Use it for fuel. Because there's a question of takola. Quotes Gemara Pesachim. Holemeo. But if it falls into 100, tale. It says it's subsumed. Right? That's the inference. Only if it's less than 100, that's when it's not subsumed. It's 100 subsumed. So now the question is, but if you could be sholan the truma is v'avashesh lamatirin, so why is it botel? I mean, the Gemara's question right now is unrelated to Rabbi Yanai. You got it. It's unrelated. Right? We're saying koname is davashesh lamatirin. Says, what about truma? What about truma? You have a question in either case. You have a question. Amri b'truma b'yat kohen askina. Glomotzi Mitchell. When could you be shown on truma? That's only before the kohen takes possession of it. Once the kohen takes possession of it, you can't be shown. Why? So the Ran explains. Now, what is truma? Before you give the truma to the kohen, why is it truma? Because I designate it as truma. Once the kohen takes possession, now it becomes his monetary asset. So if he already has a kinyan mamon, you cannot be shown any longer. Because it's more than just a status, it became his asset. So therefore, that's the reason why he can't be shown. Somebody asks a question. Let's see the sefer of the Mishnah. Ib hoisa Torah. What about if the truma was truma Torah? Not tamei. If it's tamei, it's less than 100. We say tiroke. You let it rot. But if it's Torah, it says timoche l'kohen. You sell to a kohen. So if you sell to, that means it didn't. So you see clearly, no, it didn't enter the domain of the kohen yet.
Right.
So if it didn't enter the domain of the kohen, so why is it batel? It's davishish lamatirin, because before it comes into possession of the kohen, you could be shown on the neder, on the truma. Yossi, with me. Okay. On that, the Gemara says, "Elo b'Yisrael shenoflo mi beis avi imo kohen askinim." We're speaking about the one who he inherited truma from his grandfather. So therefore, already it came to his grandfather, but now the grandson can't eat it himself. Correct? Why can't he eat it? Because he's a Yisrael. His mother's the daughter. The mother inherited from her father. The mother's not here, so who inherits?
So
The son,
right.
the grandson. So now that truma, his truma, mixes into chulin, and it's less than 100. What do you do? Timocher. So now again, since he took possession, he can't be shoel. So Mar says, "Voktani seifa timocher lekohen chutz min meoset so." It says you sell it, except for the value of that saw. Okay, 1 second. Let's see on that. Mitrum biyat kohen came to zocha b'shuv and yochel l'sholer. I have oktani say v'idunov beis avi imo kohen amay ina mocher. Afilo also saw. Right? He could sell that saw. It says you sell everything but that saw. But if you're talking about it's a grandson who inherited from his grandfather was a kohen, he could receive money for everything, for the chulin and the truma. Correct? It says when he sells it, when the truma mixes into the chulin, he sells it minus the value of the saw of truma. But if he inherited from his grandfather, he should sell it for its value. It's his. It's in his inheritance. So what are we talking about? Truma that was never given to the kohen. So if it was never given to the kohen, and you could be shown it wasn't of shish lamatirin, so why isn't it botel? On that, the Gemara answers poshut. Very important teretz. Gemara says, "Elo emo bishlam kodnom is mitzvah l'chula yaleim." No, not it was. There's a mitzvah to annul it. You make a net, it is a mitzvah to annul. So that means it's meant to be annulled. So therefore, it's not considered a bona fide isser. Why? Mishum de Reb Nosson. Dom Reb Nosson kol anoide ki lebona bomo. Person makes a net, it's like you built your own altar. Hamakaimo kilo maktir. If you fulfill it, kilo makrib, it's like you sacrificed. Aleo. Truma. Okay? However, truma, beis, avol truma, my mitzvah l'trula, there's no mitzvah to annul the truma. So since there's no mitzvah to annul it, it's meant to remain this way. So if it's meant to remain this way, we see it as dovash ein lo matirin, and that's the reason why it's subsumed within 100. Very good. So the Ran says something interesting here. He asked the question. We quoted a Mishnah earlier. It says that Hegdish is Davshish Lamatirin. Why is Hegdish Davshish Lamatirin? We have two types of Hegdish. There's Kedushas Aguf, there's Kedushas Berakabayas. He says, what it says before, Hegdish is not Botel. We're talking about Hegdish Berakabayas. I consecrate a table. So what does Hegdish do with a table? What's its value? Its value is to redeem it. So therefore there's a mitzvah to be poder. That's what Davshish Lamatirin. Take a look at Ran as it gets wider. My mitzvah chuli alei hilko kem shein heter bo miatzmo, since it doesn't naturally become permitted. But like a mitzvah lemevad hochi, right? Lemevad hochi lo mikir davshish matira. Now he says, the hegdish tkomoni leel. Earlier in the Bryce, it's listed as davshish matir hegdish, davshish matirim, the hegdish berakabayis askina. To him hegdish berakabayis. What do you do with Berek Abayis? It's meant to be polder. So therefore, Davshish Matirin. Further. Gufa. On Rabbi Yochanan. We had Rabbi Yochanan before. What was his case? Litro B'tzolim Shetikno. Bezora. He said that if you have a Litro B'tzolim, that initially you took all the tithes, it's chulin, and you planted it, Misaser Slefi Kula. We say not only the new growth do you take meiser, even the original bulb assumes a status of tevel. You have to. So what do we see clearly? That's Rabbi Yochanan, that the ikar is what? That we see it all as new. So we say that the growth subsumes the what? The source. That was the second. there was a machlok samurai, and what did Rabbi Yochanan say? Yosef Rabbo, or Yosef Rabbo, Kobalo Shmaitzo. Rabbo was saying, Rabbo, we'll see, was a Talmud of Yochanan, and he said it over. Omale Rav Chizda, Mad Sosloch, Rabbi Yochanan Rabbo, who's going to pay attention to what you're saying? Or Rabbi Yochanan, your Rebbe? Heter Shabem Leichen Holach. What are you telling me that the bulb, the litra, the tzolim that was tied, they themselves become tevel? Where did the heter go? They were heter. How does the heter become iser? Yeah, that's the question he asked him. Omar le milo tenan de kabosa. So Rabbi Yanai says to Rav Chizda, we have a Mishnah. We have a Mishnah that supports this. But tzolim shiodu aleim geshomim. You have onions, you put them in the ground, okay, during Shvius. And they grew in Shvius, but they were onions that originally were mutter. And it says, Shior Leim Geshomim V'tzimchu. And now you had leaves growing out of it. It says, Imo yu olin shelahin shchorin. If their leaves were dark green, as the Ran explained earlier, asurin. That's called the produce of Shvius. Right? That means it grew from the ground. Okay? His hariku mutorin. But if it's light green, that didn't grow from the ground, it grew from the original onion. Somewhere says, V'chishchorin, amay asurin. Lema hetish ben heichen holach. It means, with the shchorin there, asurin, we see it all as what? As Shvius. So the Ran says something phenomenal here. What difference does it make? But it's all intermingled. What's the halacha chalipe Shvius? If you take Shvius and you say, let this be in the place of that. So we say chalipe Shvius, it assumes Shvius. Assumes Shvius. But what about you have an intermingled? Let's say you had a liter of the Shvius, even though it's intermingled, and you take two litorim, and you say, let this be in the place of that. Factually, only one liter should be Shvius. If we say that the original doesn't assume the status of the wad of Shvius, so it says blanketly, if it's Shchorin, Asur seems to be include even the Iker. According to you, Rav Chizda, you claimed Hetel Heichon Holach. What happened to the heter? So you see here, the heter assumes the status of the gedulin. That's what he's saying. So Rabbi Chizda answers, you have no question. Mi sabrit alikar katoni atosevus asurin. Katoni asur. When it says asur, it doesn't mean the ikar, the original litra. That remains hulin. That remains. That's not perush shvius. It's talking about the additional growth and Eino Chanami. If you do a Chalipi Shvius, how much assumed the status of Shvius? Only what? Only the equivalent of the new growth. 1 second. Somebody says, Reb Shimon Gamliel comes to add or comes to argue with Tanakam, the Tanya. Reb Shimon Gamliel Omer, Hagodol b'chiyav chayov, Hagodol b'ptur potter. What grows, now Shvius is not Chay b'maiser. It's not Chay b'maiser. What grows in the time of Chiyuv, that's the 6th year, Yechayev. What grows in the 7th year, Yepotter. So he said, Reb Shimon Gamliel is saying the same thing as the Tanakama. If you're telling me according to what you're saying, Hetelech Holach, and we say even if the leaves are dark, it's only the new growth, but the original growth retains its original 6-year status. So what's Reb Shimon Gamliel adding? That whatever grows in Chiyuv is Chayev, and whatever grows in Ptur is Potter. On that, Tanakama Nami Hochi Omar. So they're saying the same thing? No. Somar says, Kula Mastis Reb Shimon Gamliel. No, there's no opinion. The whole Mishnah is going like Reb Shimon Gamliel. Yeah? K'tonila. Stop. Let's see the Ran on Amid Beis. Hoyu Olin Shchorin Shlen Shchorin Mirktoni Stom Asurin Mashma Shasurin hey. Yeah. Shosrin Kulan Keper Shvius Atzon Vimisa Daminim Chiheter Shemen Hishach Olach. According to Rav Chizda, that you say the heter is not subsumed. Lo haveli lemisuk to my asurin doin postlin the mayan kishvias atzmo shari im hechlif keneged heter shebohen eno tofes domov. Right? It won't assume that. So what does it say? Asurin seems to be that even the original onions are us. Elavadi gedulim vatli lei nika legamri kilo hoyo. It's as if it was never permitted. That even the ikar has this transformation to assume the same status as what? As the growth. Okay, now we're going further into the Gemara. This next Gemara is a little complicated. Now the Gemara says, when we're speaking about he planted 6 year, he took the onions of the 6th year and he planted them in the 7th year. Or he planted them in the 6th year and they grew into the 7th year. So Shimon Gamliel says that the heter remains heter and only the new growth is shvius. Right? That's what he said. So we say the new growth does not subsume the original, the ikar. Okay? So he says, now the Gemara says, Adkan lok shamet leid Reb Shimon Gamliel. Yeah. Elo blokotorach. That's where he put it in the ground in the 6th year, and it grew from the 6th year into the 7th year. That's when we say the new growth doesn't subsume the 6th year. Avol hecha de kotorach. But let's say he does an act of planting. He planted it in the 6th year. Then, botabruba. I mean, we had the case before. He planted onions next to a vineyard. So we say even if there's a growth afterwards, which is 200 times the original, it remains osir. But when we say bittul, right? We don't say hetlech and holach. He says, well, when you torach, it subsumes it. 1 second. Yeah, what's the rationale? I don't understand the rationale. If you planted in the 6th year and it grows in the 7th year where you didn't do anything special, so then we say the 7th year does not subsume the 6th year. But if he goes and it's torach, let's say he takes truma, and he plants truma, and then you have a greater growth of afterwards, then that will subsume the truma. What's the rationale? Does he explain over there what the rationale is? No, the Ran and the... Yeah, well, what's Torah? What does the Torah make a difference? If normally we say it's not bottle, but if it's Torah, if he goes and makes the effort that he wants it to be subsumed, it is subsumed. Why? The Rosh says something over here. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, but he's not explaining what's the rationale. Yeah, take a look in the Ran. The Ran says over here. He doesn't explain it. He if he plants truma, that means if you plant truma, it's going to grow. Before he planted he planted onions in the 6th year. It grew into the 7th year.
So it's a reversal.
No, but here it's inevitable. When you plant truma, what is the inevitable over here?
So
the growth is going to subsume the original. So that's Torah.
Good. Now it's the other way.
Understand that. V'lo tikshilo chamai the kasivno le'el brei shmeitz nesvirlon the engedulin kiikar pshita dem vatlin v'ochamine the godel b'chiv chayev almo en gedul b'ikar afil hoch ketoni godel b'ptur potter almo afal pi she'en gedulin kiikar en vatlos the hochahinu time mishum the hetero lo botel she'isa darkol is batel lo heter. That's v'od lo katorach levtulei ikar the engedul me'elein bo b'nu d'leil nami kibol l'bishat Bayin the botzo she'okro b'shviyus b'botzo she'noto b'kerem v'nekar ha'kerem d'motzo l'tchui shani botzo she'noto b'kerem d'lo kotorach right v'nek kerem d'motzo l'tchui shani botzo she'noto b'kerem d'lo torach. What was the case before we had? The Gemara wanted to bring a proof. You plant an onion next to a vineyard. When you planted initially next to a vineyard, there was no isser. It happened by itself because it absorbed. So maybe that's the reason why that onion is not botel. That's what grows from it becomes iser. Because that's not going to be sufficient. Because there he took a branch that already had fruit from a tree that was within 3 years, grafts it onto an older tree. So I'm dealing with what there? It's Torah. There it is Torah. Okay? He's not saying the rationale. I don't know the rationale. There's a rush over here. He says, maybe Tesis. Where is it? Yeah. Says like the bottom line. Yeah, they take in consideration his tircha. Okay, whatever. This is the way I understand it. You plant an onion in the 6th year. It grows into the 7th year. Now, why should it subsume? So we say it does not subsume the 6th year. Right? What shvius? Only the new growth. Right? When he planted in the 6th year, the act of putting in the ground, he didn't do ma'aser bittul. What he did was, it was permitted. It was permitted. So if that's the case, the new growth that grows doesn't subsume it. Because the act, what's mevatel? The vatel is the act of, initially, when they intermingle, it's two entities intermingling. Right? Over here, it came natural. When it comes natural, it's not, there has to be an initial clash. Initially, there was no clash here. Right? There was no clash. I planted in the 6th year. Torah means when I did the act itself is an act of clashing. Right? So when you plant, what's his name? You plant an onion next to a vineyard. Right? There, it could have said also, it's lo Torah. Right? But what about if I graft a branch that has the fruits on, which are orla, onto an existing tree? The clashes immediately. I'm doing an act where it's clashing. Right? So therefore, and yet it says it doesn't subsume it. So that's the Gemara's question. The Gemara says, so he says, that's a good question. You have a litra meiser tevel. You take a measure, the Levi receives his meiser. The Levi did not take trumas meiser to give to the Kohen. So he took a forbidden entity, he planted it into the ground. The Ketorach, Uketani, Vosa litra masa olav, mimokamacher, lefi cheshben. So over there, what do we say? That even though he did an act of planting, and he planted it, he put it in a situation, that the new growth is what? Is contrary. Right? And yet it says over there that he only has to take according to the new growth, not the original. Shiny gabi maistomakra aser ta'aser. The Torah says aser ta'aser. What's aser ta'aser? Rega. As called for Zarecho, that Teira Zari Inchi, the Yisur Lazari Inchi. That Teira Zari Inchi, the Yisur Lazari Inchi. Kloimer Rachmona Omar after Zarchus Zaratu Shu Mesuk and Kvar Tausu Masi the Botole, Iker Lagabi Gedulin, Umirchsiv Zaracho, Davka that Teiro. The Hochi Chayu the Inchi, but Teiro Koma the Gedulim Vatl Niker. Avol Yisura Lav Zaracho Mikri, Lo Zari Le Inchi. Hilkach mizarcha mashma di bisura loasi gedulim vatl niker. Hear what he's saying? Well, he's going to ask on it. The Torah says, "Aser ta'aser." What should you take meiser from? Zaracho. It says kol tfu zaracho. Now, what is a plant? You should take ma'aser from your zera, from what you planted. What did you plant? No, it's not yours. You planted something. It was tevel. Zarach means a permitted seed.
Right.
When you plant a permitted seed, what grows, you have to take ma'aser. The seed that what you put in the ground, a liter of bitzolim, it's not yours. It's tevel, because it was the portion. You didn't take the portion to give to the kohen.
Okay.
So therefore, what becomes zarach? Not what you put in the ground. It's the new growth.
Right.
That's why you only take from the new growth. You don't take from what you put in the ground. So even though you did an act to put it in the ground, the Torah still doesn't obligate you.
Until.
No, to take from that.
Right.
I'll tell you normally, but when you do an act, the gedulim are mevatel the ikr. But regarding tithing, the percentage of ma'aser, what is the percentage determined by? That the seed was your seed. What you put in the ground was not yours. It was forbidden. It was tevel. So what do you take? You only take what comes out of it. Okay? Because the whole kol kach shak v'tar b'dov shein zaro kolo he v'dorais leka midi shein zaro kolo chai b'maiser v'keven shekain, he says according to this, let's go a little further. So that's what he answers. Yeah, a person plants something that's permitted, not something that's forbidden. Here, what did he plant? He planted tevel. Okay? This is going back to the original. He wanted originally to bring proof that the ikr is subsumed by the gedulim. Botzel shel truma shenoto. The person takes a truma onion, plants it. V'roba gedula v'likro. So Rabbi Yanai had said, ikr al ikro muter, that the ikr, the original onion, becomes permitted lememra. The gedula in heter malin is iser. So you see that the gedulin of heter subsume what? Right. The truma, because he says put votenan geduli truma gedule. Wait, it says gedule truma. Okay, so it's contrary. It says what grows from truma is truma. How could you tell me that the truma is subsumed by the gidul? Here's just to the contrary. What grows from the truma is truma. No, not only is the bulb truma, even what grows truma. So how could you say that the gidul, the growth, subsumes the original onion? That's the question. Gidul truma. One second. So what is the answer? There you go. Hatinina gedul chulin, gedul truma. It says, yeah. Alma gedulin nimshochan achika v'rehin kemosav echmalin. V'gedulin gedulin kaminit. Ki omer Rabbi Yanai botshel truma losha hoyo. Hu atzmo. We're not talking about he put the onion in the original truma onion in the ground. Ela migdulei botzel shel truma mishamoch yidulav davi gedulin du shor l'malin. Yeah, he's differentiating. If you originally have a truma onion, you put it in the ground. That onion, what grows from that onion, takes on the status of the onion. It's truma. What about you take the growth of that onion and you plant that? The onions that grow from that onion, and you plant those onions. The third generation. That's what he says. No, that third generation subsumes the original onion. The original onion, what grows from it, is the same as the onion. But if you plant what grows from the onion, the third generation subsumes the second generation. Okay? That's what he's differentiating. Read it inside. Geduli truma, geduli, he says, gedul kamri. Rabbi Yanai is speaking about gedulin. He says, nami tinino, and it's a Mishnah. Gedule chulin. It says what grows from the gedule of truma is chulin.
But the gedule.
The gedule chulin. That's Rabbi Yanai. Simra says, if it's a Mishnah, what do I need Rabbi Yanai to tell me this? You know, and the Morah doesn't tell me something that's explicit in the Mishnah. The Mishnah says explicitly, gedulin chulin. Right? If you tell me, I want to tell you a chiddush, you tell me a chiddush and say, it's an explicit Mishnah. You tell me a chiddush, it's a Mishnah. You're not knowledgeable, it's a Mishnah. Rabbi Yanai is giving me a ruling that if you take an onion of truma, plant it, and now you take its growth and replant it. And you have a third generation, it's permitted. What's the chiddush? It's a Mishnah. It's explicit Mishnah. That gedulik chulin, kvash ta'afil dav she'in zaro kolo. That's the chiddush. That even though the original bulb doesn't decompose in the ground, so you'd say it's like it's a continuation of the original onion. V'otanan atel v'gedulav mutorin, dav she'in kolo, avdo she'in zaro kolo, gedul nasurin. Okay, just let's do the Rani on this. Ki omer Reb Yanai b'tvot shel truma lo shahoyu hu atzmo. Elo b'gedulish botzel shel truma mishum gedul v'hav v'gireh. Hana b'tidina gedul b'chulin kloimar lo havi truma yatevelu. Tevel gedul v'muta b'dorsh zarokolo. Tevel shehukva l'maiser gon shenechmeres b'kri osur. Ches v'osur lachem imenu aroi im zaro gedulov mutorim lachem in aroi kozman shluk v'lemaiser avol dov shin zaro kola gedul genu asurin lechol roi afilu kodem miruach v'nei shosa tevel nismarech kvar hamura ben koshkin gedul gu shal trum dov shin merkara elo ro hosem lo robo gedul aval ikro hoch robo gedul ikro kloimer kiamin gabi tevel gedul asurin Myri b'shul robo gedul elikar. Dainu gedul aval hocha gabi botzel shel trum. My go robo gedul trum. Now, I mean, what's the rationale? What's the svara? We're saying it's speaking about that. It's speaking about rega. Yeah, we're speaking about the first growth from the botzel is truma. You plant that. So what's the rationale? If the second generation is truma, so the third generation is coming from truma. So why is the second generation worse than the first generation? We're saying if you plant a bulb, an onion, which is truma, what grows from that is truma. But if you take what grows from that, although it's truma, put it in the ground, you have a new growth, that's not truma. And not only that, it subsumes the second generation. No, but we're talking what Rabbi Yanai says. We're saying the second generation is truma, but when you plant it, you have the third generation subsumes the second. It's no longer truma because it's subsumed by the third. Okay, no, leash here. I mean, what's the rationale? Yeah. I mean, if we're saying there's a principle, whatever grows from something assumes its identity, and if the second generation has the identity of the first, so the third should have the identity of the second. Right. So how do we differentiate between where we're at? Viksha Rashba. So, ki actually tinir gedul gechulin habale luxury adra b'hechi shari gabotza and zaro kolo nam b'davshet zaro kolo gedul gasurin tiritz tochi koma. He amrid the botzel nokat Rabbi Yanai lav davkol dim balma nokte v'chi yom muta b'davshet zaro kolo tinino hoch yomed lo davko nokte lashvin afil davshet zaro kolo porich kushtu to b'davshet zaro kolo gedul gasurin shari b'robo gedul or have a gedul koma muta. Don't understand it. That is something because it doesn't emanate from it. When you have a mixture, it's not a problem. Here, there's something that it's a derivative. It grew from the original truma. No, but it's not. It's a whole different rationale. The reason we're saying it's also is because it's growing from truma. The other you have truma, it intermingles with chulin. So ratio, if you have 100 times the truma, it subsumes it. Here we're the onion, it grows to a point 100 times the original onion. So we say the first 100, it's all truma. What does he say? Does he say anything in the footnote? What do we differentiate between the second generation and third generation? Let me see it. What? Don't know what. second. What is that? 14. No, we're holding on the next page. Here. Where is it? The Mishnah that prohibits the work of Tevel. Roach that does not wear it, the new roach is not accepted. Okay, you know something? It's complicated with stuff here.